Oh, sorry. Am I muted? Okay, so let me try that again. So, thank you all for coming. And today we're going to find out why everybody is feeling sick and having weight problems in this country and in Canada and the US. And we're going to figure out what we can do about it, what we need to focus on, what areas we need to focus on to get healthy quicker. And it's not your fault if you're having trouble getting healthy, staying in shape, and all these things, because everything is pretty much set up in this country against you. Everything is set against you. All the bricks are stacked not in your favor. So we're going to find out what we need to focus on. And by the end of this, it will be your fault if you do not figure this out, because I'm going to tell you what you need to do. So, with that being said, I created my 6 pillars of health. So, we're going to do food, air, movement, social, water, and detoxing. So, these are the 6 things that are going to help you finally get healthy. So, the first one, the first one is food. Okay. So, for our food, what we're going to do is now, if you're a vegan, I really can't help you, because unless you've had generations and generations of eating certain foods, vegan foods, whatever, and your ancestors that could not handle the switch to vegan food died off, and then the stronger ones who adapted to eating that diet stayed, we're not going to be able to get you to eat vegan food. All right. So I do not focus on that. Most people, if not all people, have evolved to eat animal protein. So we're only going to focus on animal protein, because I don't know what your genetics are. And I don't know if you can even get the same quality that they used to get back in the day. So we are we're going to focus on animal protein. So it is 1 gram of animal protein per pound of your ideal body weight. So not your current body weight. We don't care about that. Whatever your ideal body weight is for your height, that is what you want. So you're going to get 1 gram of protein per pound of your ideal body weight. All right. So, where are you going to get this meat? So, if you're going to go to a grocery store, you're going to have health problems. I'm telling you this. I used to shop at Whole Foods. My friends used to shop at Whole Foods. There's something wrong with the meat. We were constantly getting sick, and we thought we just didn't like meat, or it just didn't do well with us. I think it's bad. I think they're injecting something in it. This is allegedly. I make no claims. This is all for entertainment purposes only. So, but I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't go to most grocery stores. So I found farms where I source my meat directly. They're grass-fed, grass-finished, smaller farms. They ship it to you in dry ice. You put it in your freezer, and you just order it from there. Okay, so we're going to do that. Everybody can eat meat. The cheapest meat, of course, it's going to be your ground beef. That's what I have almost every single day, because it's the cheapest meat we can get, right? So, if you only eat that and you don't get any more junk food, you'll be able to afford it, okay? Because this is going to be the main, you're not going to go out to restaurants anymore. We're going to stop that, because why are we being exposed to toxic oils and pesticides and all those other chemicals in restaurants? Even the most fanciest, beautiful restaurant is going to make you sick in this country. It is what it is. So we're not going to go out to restaurants. If you want to go with your friends, you can sit and chat, bring a bottle of water that you trust. I wouldn't eat anything from these places. Next, we're going to get gray Celtic sea salt. This is what you're going to salt your food with. It is the safest salt. Now, there were some rumors online that it had a lot of heavy metals in it and blah, blah, blah. And it was trying to scare people. So that what they do, and this is my interpretation of what they do, this is what I think that they're doing, is they're trying to scare you out of doing things that are good for you by making you overwhelmed. And it's very easy to get overwhelmed. So what they're doing is like putting a lot of propaganda. Oh, everything that you thought was healthy is bad for you now. So then you get scared and you go, well, if I can't eat anything, I'll just eat junk food and die. That's what they want you to feel like, to just throw your hands up and give up. But we're not going to give up. We are going to continue to follow the money and figure out what we need to do to stay healthy by going back to what humans have eaten like for centuries before all this modern garbage. So, gray Celtic sea salt. I actually tested the salt myself. Now, I'm not saying if you order it from eBay or like a sketchy place that it might not be real, it might be contaminated. I can't say for sure that. But the one that I got from a non-sketchy place was completely free of heavy metals. That's the one I got. That's all I can speak on. So, my guess is that it was kind of like scare tactics, or maybe somebody just got like a fake one. Anyways, next, we're going to do fresh organic spices and herbs. Herbs are food of the gods, so everybody needs to get their herbs in. Now, I would not get those dried herbs in the jars because there's a huge problem. All of the machinery that's grinding them down is inserting heavy metals. So there's toxic amounts of heavy metals in them because of the processing. So unfortunately, we cannot trust the spices and dried herbs. There's, I think Rose Mountain Herbs is the only place that I know of that you can get dried herbs, usually in bulk or whatever, that do not have heavy metals in it. Other than that, I would not do it. What you want to do instead is maybe get like a small little herb garden, do it on your windowsill, grow things like that, that's the best we can do for now. You can also buy some organic herbs that are like the whole herb in the grocery store. They're more expensive, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I would not buy anything from places, even if it says organic on the label, that's not tested for heavy metals. Okay, so the next thing is grass-fed butter. So grass-fed butter or grass-fed clarified butter, if you like ghee stuff, whatever, it doesn't matter. I would not say olive oil because to find a good source of olive oil is very expensive. I know where I go directly from, if you need a source, you're gonna have to look up on the internet because I don't have time to give sources. And remember, everything is allegedly blah, 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 blah. But go find it on the internet. Search for heavy metals found in your spices and dried herbs and spices. And that's from the machinery. A lot of the heavy metals that we're getting exposed to are from the machinery used to process, grind, whatever food. So let's see. Grass-fed butter, I do not suggest olive oil unless you really know the exact source of it and you order ones that are not made for the United States. If it's made to be shipped and sold in the United States, I would not touch it. We have a lot, yes, and solvents to clean the machinery. That's very true. All right, so the next is fresh cheeses. If you're lactose intolerant, not everybody can, but try to incorporate fresh cheeses. So these are things that are not aged. So not Parmesan, not like the Brie, the soft cheeses, not the smelly cheeses. You want fresh cheeses and see if you do a little bit better. Also, there's a way that you can get used to dairy by eating, I think it's like a half a cup of whole fat pasture raised milk. If you can get raw milk, better. You eat a half cup, no more dairy than that per day. And then after about 2 weeks, you'll build up the enzyme until you'll be able to tolerate a little bit more. I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying if you want to have dairy, it's a great way to incorporate into your diet. My husband has problems with dairy, but he can have a few types of dairy and there's a certain amount he can have per day before he has any digestive issues. Also, a lot of people think they're lactose intolerant because they have other digestive issues, and it's a little bit difficult to process protein and dairy. So I recommend taking a supplement called TUDCA. I don't know if you can read that. TUDCA. TUDCA is going to help break things down. There's also something called orthodigestzyme. So these are your digestive enzymes, and you can get this. There's a link in the description to a dispensary. So you can sign up and you can get these supplements to help you digest your food. Because a lot of us, because we've been exposed to the pesticides and all the garbage our whole lives, we just don't have the right microbiome to break things down. And a lot of us have low stomach acid, or what I call slow stomach acid. That means you'll get the reflux because while you're eating, your stomach acid is slow to come out. So it comes out kind of after the food. So then you get the reflux. So reflux is actually not from high stomach acid. That doesn't exist. It is slow stomach acid or low stomach acid where you get the bloating and you can't digest. So I would recommend digestive enzymes if you live in the United States or any other country that messes with the food. Get digestive enzymes for every single meal. It is really hard for you to break down stuff if you've been exposed to all these chemicals, and we all have. There's nothing we can do about it. We've already been exposed. So a lot of the gut systems is damaged. Okay. So then we're going to try to find a raw or low pasteurized dairy, milk and cream, whatever. You can find there's a few websites you can find where you can go like get it from the Amish people. Sometimes they'll deliver it to your house for a fee. Sometimes there's co-ops locally. There's one for us that's like, I don't know, like a 2 hours away, but they'll come once a week to like a parking lot and I pick it up from the back of a truck. It's super sketchy because like it's for animal consumption only to be able to sell it. But it's really hard to get it. They make you go through hoops. Oh, and fun backstory. The reason why we're not allowed to have raw milk in the United States is because one of the Rockefellers, I think niece or something like that, died from listeria from raw milk. But the funny thing is, we have listeria outbreaks for everything. For ramen noodles had listeria outbreaks, for lettuce, for fruits, for vegetables. Everything can have listeria outbreaks if it's not handled properly. Everything. So if you want to avoid listeria, you have to avoid food. Mainly processed food or poorly processed food or poorly handled food. All right, so local honey is great. It'll help you lower your allergies. Local raw honey. So you can usually find them somewhere. You can like look online. Okay, so organic, heavy metal free herbal teas, the same issue with teas, the spices is with the teas. So I think Rose Mountain Herbs is another great place. So you can go and get teas, dried teas from them. Look up different medicinal benefits for different herbal teas. And if you have, like, let's say you want to increase your liver function, there's a tea for that. If you want to increase your kidney function, there's a tea for that. If you want to avoid cancers, there's a tea for that. You have to do the legwork on which tea and how much you can take. And there's plenty of herbal medicine type books on herbal remedies that you can get and look at so that, I'm not going to tell you anything. Look in the book from an herbalist. Okay. So you need to have omega-3s. Omega-3s in processed food is like very hard to come by. We have a lot of the toxic omega-6. It's not toxic. You still need omega-6, but we have so much of it that we're so inflamed because you need to have like a balance of it. So we need to have so much omega-3s. You can't find it in the diet, really. Omega-3s are very hard to come by. So you have to go out and take a supplement. There's one called Monopure that I take. It's a little gel cap. I take that one. I'll take 2 of them. If I take them, I won't get any pains when I have my periods. I don't get migraines for that if I remember to take them. You have to take it with food because they need fat to digest. So you have to take some fats, maybe some butter or whatever fatty piece of meat while you're taking the supplement. So take omega-3s. Another great source of omega-3s is sardines. So you can find wild-caught sardines. Make sure they don't have the fake additives, like they have fake flavoring. Some of them have like fake artificial lemon flavor or whatever in it, or artificial what have you. Don't get those. Make sure there's no corn or soy oil or canola or whatever, all the other toxic oils. Try to get extra virgin olive oil or get it in water if you want to make sure there's nothing bad in it. And then what I do to eat sardines, because they're pretty gross and fishy, but gross, fishy, fatty fish are actually really good for you. So what I do is I take them, and they're small fish. So the bigger the fish, the more heavy metals. The smaller the fish, the less. But they still have some mercury. So what you want to do is never have more than 1 can per day. And I recommend at least 3 cans per week. It's a cheap way to get 20 grams of protein. Okay. So remember, we're trying to get a certain amount of protein per day. Sardines is great. 1 time a day, perfect. So what you do is I mix it in the avocado mayo. So the avocado mayo was bought by, of course, one of those companies that makes everything toxic. So you have to look on the back of the label, because some of them will be avocado mayo, and then you look and it's mixed with soy and canola and all the garbage. So you have to find one that's just 100% avocado oil. And that one is really good. You mix that with your sardines, you put some spices, you put some sea salt, you put a little bit of vinegar or balsamic or lemon or lime or something like that. You mix that together, and then you spread it on sourdough bread. Now, I didn't put sourdough on the list, but if you're going to have bread, it needs to be sourdough, and it needs to be outsourced again from another country. So I get my flour from Italy. So I have a friend in Italy that I have him send me some flour, because like I don't even know what's on Amazon. I don't know if I trust that as much, but I get it and I keep it in the freezer so it lasts as long as possible. And when I make bread, I do the old-fashioned sourdough fermented, yeast. I don't get instant yeast, because that's really inflammatory. So I would recommend looking into how to make sourdough if you really like bread, because there's nothing wrong with bread if you do it the right way with a sourdough starter. You can get starter flakes on Etsy. So you can get ancient starter flakes from, like, I don't know, whatever, the 1800s on Etsy. So you take that and make your bread. Let's see. And if you want fruits and vegetables, this is really hard, because now in the stores, when you're going to have fruits and vegetables, they're kind of rubbery. They just don't taste very sweet or very good, or maybe they're injected with stuff. Like all the grapes now seem to be injected with some magical sugary syrups, cotton candy flavored or whatever it is. So you have to be really careful when you're going to the grocery store. You're not going to find many fresh fruits. What happens if it's not ripened on the tree? For most things, it does not usually ripen when they cut it down. And they come from so far away. A lot of them are coming from South America, from China, from God knows where. By the time they get to our grocery store, they're depleted of all nutrients. So when you look up studies, a grapefruit has this much vitamin C and this much blah, blah, blah. They don't if you get it from the grocery store. They're depleted so much. You need to eat them fresh, cut, maybe within 48 hours, 72 hours, but you cannot leave them and ship them and then expect them to have any nutrients. A lot of our food is nutrient depleted, and some of it's actually dangerous, because when they ship them over a long time, they're shipping them before they were supposed to be pulled from the trees or the bushes or whatever, and they put a chemical that they don't have to list on it. So it could be organic and then sprayed with this chemical that makes it appear ripened, but then you eat it and you're like, ugh, this isn't ripe. Or it's dried out, or there's something wrong with it. It was not ready to be picked. So find friends that have some fruits and vegetables in their gardens, grow your own, trade with your friends and family. I know a lot of people now that started growing fruits and vegetables because they were just disgusted every time they're like, what is this? It doesn't taste like real food. So they went and they started making it themselves in their backyards and their patios and in their windowsills. And another good place, if you want to grow like tropical fruits and you have a decent window, you can grow them in like your bathroom on the window, or like even in the shower if it gets good lighting. And whatever, you do what you got to do. So that is the food, and this is just like what I want you to focus on. I'm sure like we can go into food all day every day. I'm going to do separate videos, one just on food, everything that I buy, where I buy it from, why I buy it, how much I eat of it. I'm going to do a separate video on each of these, but this is the outline for what I'm going to do. So the next thing we're going to focus on is air. So your air is incredibly important. One thing I did not put on here that I'm going to talk about first is there's so many products that off gas toxic chemicals now, and we are not being warned. The fact that it's allowed is insanity. I actually did see a documentary once about how they got like poor kids from like the projects to come in to like the court so they can petition to have flame retardants on couches and PJs, pajamas, like crazy stuff like that. And they paid the kids to like cry and stuff like that to make the people say, okay, yeah, let's force everyone to put these toxic chemicals on everything we own. Insane. So, to clean your air, you need to find a non toxic mattress. There's nothing memory foam that is safe. There's nothing memory foam that is safe. I don't know how many times I need to say that. Do not touch memory foam. You can get the IKEA mattresses, like they're not that plush or whatever, but like they're safe, they're tested, they're safe, they're pretty cheap. There's also like these Japanese mattresses type thing. Those, you can get those. Or you can, I don't know. If you're looking for a springy mattress, those are going to be expensive, the non-toxic ones. There's some that are made with wool, and there's some that claim they don't use any toxic chemicals. You can look into that. Also, pajamas, if it's tight, if it's not tight fitted pajamas, like the tight long sleeves, tight whatever pants, if it's not tight, they have to put the toxic pesticides on, especially for kids. So I would say don't even use pajamas that are meant to be pajamas. Find like an oversized shirt or like some comfy shorts that are cotton and wear that instead, especially for your kids. All right, so more on air. Get an air purifier in every room and make sure you have like a schedule set up to change the air filters. It can get expensive, but there's some pretty good ones in IKEA too. Open windows on clear days where you have dry air and some nice winds, especially like at nighttime when there's not as many cars on the streets, if you're near a road or something. So you don't want to do it when there's high humidity because you don't want mold in the house. But if it's a nice, dry, windy day, open the windows, air out the house often. Now you would need to get fresh air at least an hour a day. And that's like pushing it. You need to have more than an hour a day, but try to go outside an hour a day. You can sit outside and work, or you can walk. You need to be walking anyways. So walk outside. I do not like treadmills. You have the outside. Now, yes, it rains a lot, but as much as you can outside. Okay, and then for your air, you have to check your home for mold. A lot of people are very sick because there's hidden mold. I like to check around windows, like open like the baseboards and like see if there's a smell. And if there is, change the drywall under it. You can look up how to change drywall. It's not that difficult. Usually around doors and windows, you want to check the baseboards. And yes, and if it's raining like very hard, but you still really want to go out there, you can do it. I mean, I've ran in windy, rainy situations with like a plastic around my head. I've done it. Anyways, so check for mold, especially bathrooms, behind sinks, behind toilets, anywhere there's water, and around windows. And then if there's any water that looks like it's coming towards the building where you live in, try to see if you can check there for mold and add some dirt and rocks so that the water goes away from the building and doesn't like sit next to it. Okay, then when you're cooking, we have a lot more toxic air problems. Try to get one of those exhausts that goes outside, that pulls the air outside. That's a huge thing to install. I mean, it's great for you. So when you're cooking, no Teflon. We already know that that's killing people. It'll kill your birds. It'll kill your pets. So of course it's going to kill you. You're just a bigger animal, so it's going to take longer. So do not cook with Teflon. You can use stainless steel. I learned how to fry and whatever, so make it nonstick with just butter. So you can look that up online and just use a stainless steel. And if you're lucky enough to have gas, or you can cook outside on like a grill that you can cook with cast iron on, cast iron is even better. And avoid air fryers or frying with oil on high heat. I know it's fun to like eat fried stuff, especially like easy stuff. Like the air fryers are so easy. They release so much toxic chemicals into the air. Not only that, into the food, because that hot, that fast makes it carcinogenic. So just avoid it. I know it's super quick and super fun, but it's not worth it because it's detrimental. Now we have movement. So you're supposed to walk at least 7,000 steps a day, and you should aim for 10,000. That for me is about 2 hours walking at a, very normal, not rush pace. It's 2 hours walking per day, and I can get 10,000 steps. So keep that in mind. Figure out how you can walk. Put a little pedometer like attached to your pants and just like track it. And if you don't get your 7,000 minimum, I want you to get 10. But if you don't get 7,000, just start walking around outside, start walking around the house, start doing stuff, start cleaning, organizing, so that you're moving around. And if you can walk around dusk and dawn, you can get good sunlight that's not too intense, but it's still great for you. And moving the lymphatic system, you want to do things like rebounding, that's your trampoline, or just jumping on the floor. Jumping can make you grow taller. So for those people who like complain about being short, like me, or how I used to be, if you jump hard, like not on a trampoline, but if you jump on hard surfaces, like you just do jumping, like for like an hour every day, you just jumping, raise your arms up, jumping. That is a great way. Yes, that is a great way to get taller, because it'll cause little micro fractures, which will strengthen your bones and lengthen them. And when you're jumping and reaching up like a basketball player, or like I think it's the Hadza tribe, they have like this dance where they're jumping and reaching up. That's why they're so tall. All right. Next, you can do skipping too. Skipping, we should never stop skipping. Skipping is a great exercise, and it's happiness, it's joy, and it's fun. When you're jumping and skipping like that, you are pounding on your bones, making them stronger. You're outside, you're happy, it's joyful, and you can skip for a lot longer than you can run. Lifting weights and movements you want to make when you're older. So if you want to be able to put a box up on the top shelf or in the closet, you need to do this type of movement with weights and, lifting stuff up off the floor, holding heavy things, squatting, You need to do all the movements that you see old people having problems with. Focus on those. And yes, you will get better looking, but it shouldn't be about that. It should be about health span. Okay. The next is you should run in short bursts. You do not want to do I know some people are just obsessed with marathons. They get those endorphins, but marathon runners, they don't live as long. They're not as healthy. They have heart problems. They get joint problems. They get knee problems. They get hip problems. Long distance running, not a good idea. Running in short bursts in play, good idea. So you want to do short bursts of running, then walking, short bursts of running, then walking. You don't want to be pushing through pain. Also, that will raise your cortisol, especially if you're female, or if you're running with a female, you're raising their cortisol. It's not good. So remember that. The next one is your water. So drink out of glass only. You want glass. Remember that like those Stanley cups, those stainless steel things, you don't know what kind of metals are in there unless you're testing them for like the cadmium, the lead, all of these types of heavy metals, and you don't know if they're authentic. They've found some that had heavy metals that were in like name brand stores. So you just never know. I would say just get glass. Glass, you can easily test for lead. That's like the only thing that's going to be in there. You can buy the little cotton swab lead testers on Amazon. Test all your cups and plates and glasses. Never drink tap water, period, end of story. If you're still drinking tap water, you're sick. Get reverse osmosis a water filter if you can afford it, or try to buy spring water in glass bottles. The only one I know of is Mountain Valley and like I think something called Sparky's or something like that. But you want to do that. You can also find some spring water in cans, like aluminum cans. Those are pretty safe. Let's see. And when you get like a to-go glass bottle, whatever that you're going to put in the car, take with you, make sure it's very easy to clean, because some of them, like, it's a narrow top and you need to get like those little specialized things to clean them out. You can't properly clean them out as much as I would like. I would say get something you can put your whole hand in and clean it out. And also, you don't want like plastic straws in the glass because that defeats the purpose. Trying to avoid plastic. So just get it where you unscrew it and drink it. Let's see. You can also use a mason jar, which is pretty cheap. Let's see. Clean. Oh yeah, the filter for your water in refrigerators. If you have a filter in your refrigerator, the tubes, especially like where the outspout is, they can get filled with mold. So you need to get one of those little metal things, those little metal brushes, those thin ones, and like scoop it up in there and suck out all the mold, and then let it run to clean it out. Do that regularly. Also for your faucets, like if you have a reverse osmosis water, make sure you clean out the faucet with one of those little, I don't know, they call them brush thingies. Oh, the other thing is, be very careful where you get your faucets, because I found out that my faucet that I bought from Amazon was lead, 100% lead. It was like a knockoff brand sold on Amazon and probably from China. 100% lead. So when I was testing my glasses for lead, I'm like, all the water's coming out and it looks like it's already like red, like positive for lead. And then I stuck it up in the faucet, pure lead. Been having it for months. So yeah, be very careful. Also, you can take out your ice machines and refrigerators and clean them out with vinegar and let them like be in the window so like the sun can hit anything. You can try to do that at least like every 6 months minimum. Let's see. High temp silicone. Silicone does leach. There's some better types of silicone, but I'm sure they're not going to use that. Avoid silicone if you can. If you're a chick or you know a chick, the menstrual pads are highly toxic. There's like no good ones. They're either falling apart or highly toxic, but they have these silicone, medical grade silicone menstrual cups that are the least toxic. Yes, silicone is not particularly safe, but it's safer than all these other things. So I would say, and there's one you can get, I think it's from France or Italy. It says that it's from France or Italy, made in France, made in Italy, something like that. And that menstrual cup is the only one that I would recommend, because some of them are this super cheap, disgusting, dissolving silicone. Okay. And okay, if you want to hydrate really well, you put a little Celtic sea salt under your tongue and you let that saltiness dissolve. It's painful under your tongue in the mucous membranes, right, in your mouth. And then you drink water. So after the salt has been absorbed by your mucous membranes, then you drink the water. Your cells are able to pull the water into them instead of just like going through you and like making your mineral balance off, so you're even more dehydrated. Let's see. Never drink before or with food. Most cultures know this. America is the only country that has water bottles everywhere, and they're constantly asking for water in restaurants because we're so dehydrated because we don't know how to drink. You're not supposed to have any water before you eat. It dilutes your stomach acid. With diluted stomach acid, you cannot break down anything. You're more susceptible to any toxins in there, any bacteria, anything, any viruses. You need to stop drinking. I know everybody's so thirsty because we're so dehydrated. And yes, make homemade electrolytes. I think Gatorade was originally, the recipe was something like lemon juice, sea salt, orange juice, something like that. And it was like a mix of those. I don't remember. That's what it was supposed to be. And then they made it toxic, whatever. Don't touch it. You can also get electrolytes in the description at the dispensary. There's really good ones. And you can get high potassium because we're all like kind of low in potassium. All right. So sea salt under the tongue, hydrate you faster. Never drink before or with food. Everybody knows that. Chinese medicine says don't even drink cold water because you don't want to cool down your stomach or your stomach acid. You want to keep it hot. A hot, warm stomach is able to digest better because you're trying to make the best environment for high stomach acid while you're eating. That's when you need your acid, not after. And if you're drinking water, you're suppressing it. So then when the food goes through it, now the acid runs up because you finished eating and drinking. You don't want that. Okay. Filters and all your faucets in your shower head. A lot of people are losing their hair. They're getting rashes. They're getting rosacea. There's a lot of like weird, we have lots of bacteria in our public water systems. So you need a filter. Also, about 4 times a year, they usually run a chloramine flush. Chloramine is the chlorine that's so toxic, so strong that it cannot evaporate. So it can be exposed to air forever. It'll never evaporate. So you can't boil it off. So if you drink it, you can get kidney failure pretty quickly. They sometimes let you know when they're doing a chloramine flush in the city, but you have to be on top of it going to their website all the time to kind of check. It's usually 4 or 5 times a year. Sometimes they'll do one like out of nowhere if they find something. So if you just, I mean, if you, God forbid, want to do like hair color or something like that, like a chemical thing, or you put like a peel on your face or something, and then you wash your face with chloramine water, your face is gonna like peel off. You don't want that. Your hair is gonna come off. It's gonna get damaged. It's gonna look terrible, and you don't know if you don't keep up with it because they really don't warn you about these things. All right, so that's water. Now we're talking detox. Detox is super important. If you're not detoxing, you're not going to make it in this toxic soup we live in. We need to detox. Detox is everything. You have to sweat daily. And this is terrible because, you want to take a bath like a few times or whatever a week, like maybe every other day. You want to wash your hair. You don't want to do it every day and it'll smell if whatever. If you need to sweat profusely, not a little bit of sweat, not just like your armpits. We need to be sweating like the forehead, the cheeks, the whole thing needs to be sweating every day. So you have to do something that makes you sweat. I don't care what it is. I don't want to know. We'll run around like a crazy person to get your steps and sweat that way, or walk around for hours in the heat to sweat, or you can, and no worries for being late. So anyways, you can do all of those things and then you'll sweat out the toxins. A lot of the plastics only come out when you sweat them out. Epsom salt baths of real whatever, I think it's called whatever, Epsom salt. Look up the real one. Unscented, no fragrance, no essential oils. You don't want anything. Lavender and tea tree oil essential oils are very estrogenic. Please avoid them at all costs. And you don't know where they're getting their essential oils. And it's like when they add it to products, it's usually the cheapest, lowest quality. Do not get scented fragrance, nothing. They're all phthalates anyway. Saunas or steam rooms 3 times a week is the goal. If you have a sauna, you only need to get sweaty 3 times a week. Sauna, steam room, 3 times a week, you are good to go. The link on the description, let me see why is it not there? Hold on. Let me get the link for these supplements. I have to add it later. So that is for the supplements. And if you want any like ideas on getting supplements or which ones you should order, you can let me know. Okay, so where are we? Oh, parasite cleanses 4 times a year, seasonally. That's 4 times a year. Every season, you need to do a parasite cleanse. There are the pinworm ones you can get over the internet. You can get, again, this is just, this is not medical advice, blah, 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 blah. This is comedy. You can get ivermectin, whatever, look up the dosage for weight, figure it out. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. Take that with the pinwheel one with some binders so you don't feel like trash. Because when those things are coming out, they are peeing, and the pee makes you nauseous and vomit sometimes, and you get migraines to try to get you to eat some sugar or whatever so like they can continue to survive. Also, have a lot of antiparasitic foods throughout your day. You can have pumpkin seeds are really good, the raw pumpkin seeds. The other one is papaya, the fruit and the seeds. Eat them together. I hate papaya, it's disgusting. But just take a spoonful, like a tablespoon of papaya seeds every now and then, or when you're doing one of these cleanses. Liver detox. Once you've done like a parasite cleanse or whatever, you could do something like a liver detox. There's a specific order. I believe it was something like you do gut, then you do liver, then you do kidney, and then you do parasite. I mean, I could be wrong. Some people do like whatever they feel like. If you're pretty healthy, you can do whichever order you want. If you have severe die-off symptoms, you might want to work with someone who can guide you through it. And okay, kidney and liver support herbs always throughout the year. You should be taking them because there's so much toxins that we need to detox, and this is going to really help you. Kidney and liver and your skin by sweating. All of these are your detox pathways, your lymphatic system, rebounding, massage, jumping, all these things to get everything moving and out of your body so you don't get, oh my God, yes, cheeks. Anyways, so red light therapy is another thing that's really good. So if you have any inflammation, if you have like, let's say you get a thyroid nodule, or you get any type of like a tumor thing or a cyst or whatever, you can put red light therapy on it every day for like an hour or so. And it can help lower the inflammation and bring the lymphatics to the area to help flush it out. Could take a couple months, but it can definitely be part of your regimen. Other things for like a nodule or a cyst, you can put something called poke root. You get that like a tincture, put it on the area, and then put castor oil on top, and then put like a bandage on it. So say it's on your thyroid, you do it there. You do that every night, alternating between red light therapy and that. And then massage. Massage is really good for you. It helps clear your lymphatic system. So I really like massage. One thing, when I had the money to go and get a massage every week, I could not gain weight. I was just like losing weight like crazy because it's moving your lymphatic system so well. It's expensive, whatever. But if you can afford it, like every now and then, it's always good to get like a full body massage. Lymphatic massage is very light touch. Like the deep tissue massage will still help a little bit, not as much, but I mean, it's whatever you can get. But any type of massage is really good. You can also do dry brushing that moves the lymphatic system. You just have to get the dry, it hurts. You get it and you scrape towards your heart. So everything towards your heart. And yes, in Colombia you can get a full body massage in Colombia for $10. Yes. That is disgusting. Awesome. Okay, more detox, because detox is so important. So you have to stop putting toxins that you need to detox on your body, in your body. So every time you're going to buy a product from now on, you're going to research it first. Because I'm not going to say throw everything away and then start buying all new stuff. That's not smart. What you're going to do is every time you're going to buy something new, from now on, you're going to research it to find the most non-toxic version. So you can look in the Environmental Working Group website, look for products, look up every single ingredient from any product you want to get. Look at the Yuka app, Bobby approved. I think that's one's mainly for food. And then you can also go to Etsy and find people who are making things with simple ingredients that you already know what they are. Like you're just like, I can read this. I understand every single word. I don't have to look anything up. And lotions, stuff like that, you can get like jojoba oil, like pure jojoba oil, pure aloe vera gel, or you can get like pure shea butter, pure mango butter, pure emo oil, whatever you can, pure. You don't need to buy a lotion in some like, whatever easy to squirt bottle. That's in plastic anyways. All right. Um and remember that corporations have no incentives to make safe products. There was a video I found online. I don't know if I saved it, but it's basically um they're in a court case. They're like, can you tell these companies not to make something with these toxic ingredients? And they're like, no. Can you tell Can you sue companies for using toxic ingredients? The answer is no. So you can look that up online if you want to see it to be traumatized, but there's nobody who's coming to help you but yourself. If you're planning on something being safe just because they sell in a store, they have no incentive to make you anything safe. So they're waste because it's four companies that run the entire country. They all own each other. They're all on the boards of each other. And if this one has a waste product and doesn't want to pay for like waste, not for toxic waste removal, they'll just include it into another product. They really don't care. And I think they're doing it on purpose. I do know that all the shampoos, all the hair colors, all the hair care products cause hair loss and hair to be damaged. So then you have to buy their treatments, buy their the pharmaceuticals that help you grow your hair. So I mean everything is connected. There's like no way out, guys. You gotta like research everything. I was having a terrible problem finding. I was looking at the most natural, non-toxic bullcrap hair color that I could find. Finally, I just said I'm ordering it from Italy. So not made in Italy, shipped to the United States because they can add stuff because we allow everything. But the one that's made in Italy for people in Italy to get. I just paid a little extra for somebody to come and send it to me. And I've been paying, I think it's $3 US over there for them to get the hair color. And I pay $20 US for the same thing so they can ship it to me. But guess what? My hair stopped falling out. This is what we're dealing with. So, yeah. Okay. Da-da-da. You can also make your own products. I can't make my own hair care color. I tried using the henna stuff. That shit never worked. But if you can figure out how henna works, God bless you. If you have 4 hours with that stuff on your head, good luck to you. The next thing is socialization. This is very important to your health. Sorry, guys, you got to be in person. As much as the internet is funsies, you want to be in person talking to people, at least like on a FaceTime app or face to face somehow through a camera. You need face to face. They did a study that says you're going to live longer if you get 3 hugs a day for 30 seconds each. So whether that's with your dog or your cat or your mom or your brother or your sister, just start hugging your friends. We need to make hugging normal. Hug your coworkers, hug people, maybe ask for permission first, maybe get it in writing if you don't know them that well, but hug people. Force hug everyone with permission. The next one is try to call at least 3 friends a week for 30 minutes just to catch up. People, especially guys, have this problem where they're like, I don't have any friends. And you ask them, how many people have you called in the last month? Oh, nobody called me. This is why you guys don't have friends, because nobody's calling anybody. See, chicks don't have that because we're constantly calling and texting and bothering each other. So start bothering your friends again and forcing them to hang out. You have to call someone an average like 30 times before you can get one hangout. That's how life goes because we're all really busy after like college. Okay. So schedule in advance things in person. So have like your friends come over for dinner, schedule a movie night, schedule like a whatever, a dinner party, a breakfast party, a lunch, or whatever. I do that all the time. And I'll do it like 2 months ahead of time. I'll be like sending everybody invites. What's the budget for this weight loss deal? What do you mean? Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, so do that. Everybody says cut out negative people. Everybody's so negative, but relax with that because sometimes you're just like in a bad mental state or sometimes you're interpreting someone as being negative who's being like funny or playful, and you're just taking things too seriously. So also step back and try to look from the outside and like, am I being kind of touchy? Maybe. Am I taking things a little bit too seriously? Can I give them a few more chances? Can I have a one-on-one conversation with this person saying like, this kind of made me feel uncomfortable? Like, are you mad at me? Or do we have a problem? Maybe instead of like just immediately cutting people out, we have conversations like grown-ups. We need to have more adult conversation with very clear descriptions of our feelings. Okay. Get a hobby to socialize. Now, as you can see here, I have fish and shrimps and all these fun things. I go to like local meetups for people when we trade fish. I know that sounds weird and cringe to you guys, but I make friends that way. And a lot of them are nerds and geeks and weirdos, but they're fun. And we have the same thing in common. You need a hobby to socialize, a hobby to exercise. So you can do like, I don't know, they have like running groups, which is like terrible. I don't like running, but you can do things like that. Figure out one of these groups, join a gym, go to one of those classes, and then you can like talk to the people in the class afterwards. Things like that. Read a book a month or listen to one so you can have new topics to talk about. Because if you're constantly talking about other people, this person did this person said this, and not ideas or new things or something interesting, people are going to get bored of you. So try to be fun. Try to find new things to talk about because it's really cool. And we have so many books on tape that we can listen to, not on tape, audiobooks. Anyways. And this is my bonus one. So this is spiritual things you can do. This is extra for extra fun. Learn to pray because all of you need it. And a lot of you also need to get an exorcism. I know you think, but I didn't do anything terrible. You need to get an exorcism for your whole bloodline. You don't know what these people have done. And that shit's affecting you. Stop watching porn, you know what I mean? It's making you miserable. Also lowers your testosterone. It rises it slightly while you're watching it, only to dramatically lower it afterwards. And it also makes it hard for you to feel joy after. I don't make the rules. And stop being toxic and negative. Did I spell that right? No. Ignore my spelling. Stop being so negative about things. Don't be a doomer. Practice gratitude. Be grateful for stuff. There's so many things that you have the ability to do now that you could never do like 100 years ago. So enjoy the fact that you have access to things and write about stuff. Write about everything that you have that you're grateful for, everything that you wished you had when you were a kid and that you finally got. It'll help you put things into perspective. A lot of people are really negative and stuff because they're comparing themselves to like somebody else instead of just comparing themselves to what they used to be, what they used to have. Stop being defensive. Chill. If someone says something mean to you, you can let it roll off your back. It's fine. Be a good loser and a gracious winner. You don't have to shove things in people's faces. It makes it really hard to make friends after. And try to inject humor into your life. Have some fun. And no. Okay. Do not listen to Cheeks. He needs an exorcism. We will pray for him. Okay, guys, so that's all I have today. If anyone has any specific questions, let me just look at the chat if anyone. How did I come up with this bullshit? Thank you, Cheeks. This is so sweet of you. Thank you. Wow. Okay. What is this? I don't know what this is, but I take your word for it. Yes, this is true. But we always have omega-6s, so you got to add some 3s. Okay. So, all right, cool. So I guess that's all I have for today. So if you want to, you can leave questions in the Discord, or you can message me privately in the Discord, or you can just make a comment if you have any questions, and I'll put it in the next one. I'm going to go through each of these things each of these will have their own video with what I do. So we're going to go through all of these. And I might do spiritual too. We'll see. Okay, guys. So thank you. Wait, what is this? How much does this cost you, buddy? Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and leave me messages about anything when I cover each of these separately. I'm going to give you exactly what products I get, where I order from, and I'm going to update it because it's going to keep changing. And I'm sure you do. And I'm very proud of you for coming out to us. Have a great rest of your night, guys.